Every presidential election in America since and including George Washington has been won by the candidate with the most British and French royal genes. Of the 42 presidents up to Bill Clinton, 33 had been related to two people: Alfred the Great, King of England, and Charlemagne, the most famous monarch of France. And so it goes. 19 of the presidents are related to England's Edward III, who has 2,000 blood connections to Prince Charles. George Bush and Barbara Bush are of the same bloodline, the Pierce bloodline, which changed its name from Percy when it crossed the Atlantic. Percy today remains one of the most aristocratic families of Britain. I was amazed in the selection of 2000 to see that Burke's Peerage, a very prestigious genealogical publication in England, predicted that George W. Bush would be president. They said they could say this with certainty because although Al Gore was also related to the British royals, the Windsors, the Bush family was more closely related to the Windsors, and therefore he would get the presidency. And sure enough, after they stopped the recount in Florida, which we now know was won by Al Gore, the Supreme Court appointed George W. Bush as president, so Burke's Peerage prediction turned out to be true. So we find out that Gore and Bush, John Kerry, Dick Cheney, they're all related. They're all of the same bloodline. But I'm sure most people are going, well, at least you can say that Barack Hussein Obama is not part of that bloodline, but you'd be wrong. According to Lynn Cheney, the wife of Dick Cheney, as she researched her family's background, she found that Barack Obama is an eighth cousin to Dick Cheney. He is a descendant of Maureen Duval, a French Huguenot whose son married the granddaughter of a Richard Cheney who had arrived in Maryland in the late 1650s from England. Now I realize that you can put forth the argument that if you go far enough back, we're all related to Methuselah or we're all related to Adam, so everybody can be related to everybody else. But this only goes back to 1650, and the odds, what are the odds that of the same bloodline you get the Gores, the John Kerrys, the Bushes, the Barack Obamas? These are the only ones that get to run and be president of the United States. The Chicago Sun-Times reported that both Obama and Cheney are blood relations to the Bush family, so they're all related. According to the paper, George W. Bush and Obama are 10th cousins once removed. They're linked through a 17th century Massachusetts couple, Sarah Sewall and Samuel Hinckley. Hinckley is a distant relative of George Herbert Walker Bush's close friend, John Warnock Hinckley, whose son, John Warnock Hinckley Jr., was the person who has been stated as the man who shot Ronald Reagan in 1981. Does that sound a little incestuous to you, that they're all involved and they're all related? Then that brings us to how